It's always a pleasure. It's always a delight. It's the highlight of my week, month, whenever it happens. That man right there, the Hall of Famer, one of the greatest to ever do it, the most underrated basketball player in NBA history. That's my claim. I stand by it. I think it's absolutely true. Hall of Famer, one of the greatest, literally top 50 all time, announced by the NBA themselves. Rick Barry. You can follow him on all social media platforms at Rick24Barry. Rick, are you ready to go? And how are you doing, sir?
Yeah, great. Well, Merry Christmas to everybody coming up, and hopefully everybody will have a healthy, happy New Year. And hopefully 2026 will be a better year for the Golden State Warriors, and they can stop being a 500 basketball team and get their act together. So
Yes, sir.
a lot to talk about. Some very interesting things going on this season. Unusual. It's been, I think, a rather strange year as far as the teams that are winning. It's kind of even like the NFL. The NFL's had kind of a crazy year this year with the teams that are leading their divisions that nobody, or conferences nobody would have ever expected, all of that. And I think a lot of that's happening with basketball. So it's going to be fun. See what happens.
It is. Yeah, the 49ers right now have the inside track to be the top seed in the NFC, which alone is insane. Patrick Mahomes isn't making the playoffs, which is insane. And like you said, Rick, the Golden State Warriors are playing 500 basketball, and Draymond Green isn't happy. I'm actually elated that Draymond's doing what he's doing. Somebody had to wake this team up, in my humble opinion. That's just me. I could be wrong on that. And Rick, I can't wait for your thoughts on it. Let's break it down. We're powered by FanDuel. This is the Golden Days. Let's go. Welcome to the Golden Days. Happy Festivus. That is officially what today is. And more importantly, we got the Hall of Famer, one of the greatest ever. In my opinion, the second greatest Golden State Warriors player in the franchise's illustrious history. You were number one. I hope you're okay accepting that Stephen Curry is above you.
Steph Curry's pretty amazing.
Okay. Thank you for that.
He's pretty darn amazing.
I still think you have number two locked down, sir. And that is in no danger of being of those positionings being changed. You can follow again the Hall of Famer Rick Barry on all social media platforms at Rick24Barry. Happy Festivus, Rick. How are you doing, sir? We're 2 days.
Wait a second. Isn't Festivus from Seinfeld?
Yes, it's a joke. I'm absolutely having fun.
Oh my God, George's father. What a family that was, huh? Oh my God.
Well, you hobnob with like the biggest, most high profile names. Like, do you have any stories to share about the Stiller family? Because they are legends in comedy.
Yeah, no, I don't. But obviously, I watched them for years, and they were quite. I'm serious. Well, Ben Stiller, of course, all the things he's doing, but his dad was a piece of work, and he played a great character on Seinfeld. Obviously, George Costanza's mom and dad were. That was a very funny show. It really was. I mean, you can always see a lot of times Jerry Seinfeld had to bite at the inside of his lip, I think, to stop from laughing out loud. So, but they all did. Yeah, they have so many classic things, the Soup Nazi and all the other stuff. It was crazy, but a fun show. I know my son Brent loved it. He had every single episode that he has every episode. He loves Seinfeld.
Oh, and speaking of Brent, at some point, sir, if you don't mind introducing us, because your children are incredible, and Brent, of all five who have played professional basketball, probably achieved the most. And I love his commentary. Do you listen to him on Prime?
I think he does a great job. I really do. John also. My son Scooter did some. My son Drew did some in college stuff, and they were all very good. And about doing it, and not masters of the obvious. That's the thing about broadcasting. I mean, some of these people that are broadcasting are freaking masters of the obvious. They're talking about all the time something that everybody just saw it. I mean, tell me something that you didn't tell us, something that you didn't see, that they didn't see. Tell them something meaningful. Tell them something that learned a little bit more about the game, a little more insightful. But Brent was doing a great job. I was kind of surprised that he left broadcasting because he was doing a terrific job, and more so than just doing basketball. He was really good. And then he got the job with the Spurs as far as director of basketball operations. Then they made him the GM of their G League team. I said, wow, maybe they're getting him ready to take over for the team when R.C. Buford would be close to retirement. And then next thing you know, he gets an opportunity to be an assistant coach from Budenholzer with the Suns, and that doesn't work out because Budenholzer gets fired. So Brent's getting paid by them, and then he got a chance to get back into broadcasting with Prime, doing the NBA game. So I'm happy to see him doing that because he's very good at it.
I get the impression, Rick, and I don't know if it's a genealogy thing or if you just taught your kids well, but you all seem very intellectually curious. And for anyone interested in getting into the media game, what you just said, Rick, about storytelling and stating the obvious or lack thereof in terms of making things interesting, heed that man's words right there. That's how you do it. You got to make things compelling and interesting, right? I mean,
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, you're watching it. If you're an intelligent human being, you're seeing the same thing that he's seeing. Okay, so
yes,
and point out something that the person who isn't really super knowledgeable about the game will appreciate hearing about to learn a little bit more about it. I mean, so, you can say, oh, what a bad pass that was. And, I mean, I would say that in that situation, that was a bad pass, obviously, but here's what they should have done. They should have done this kind of a pass. They should have done that. And also point out stuff that they're not watching because everybody watches the ball. I try to draw, especially when I did play-by-play, which I really enjoyed. I had an opportunity to do something that other guys couldn't do because I was a player, then I was an analyst. And I remember Tony Verna, who was the guy that was responsible for instant replay, who was passed away, but he was very helpful to me. I worked with him and Bob Stenner when I was doing CBS stuff for the NBA. And he said, Rick, you have a chance to do something very unique because you can cross that line between play-by-play and analyst because you were a player. And you're good at analyst work. He said, so don't feel comfortable to cross that line because your opinion means something. It's, a guy who's just an analyst has never played the game, doesn't have, a lot of business talking about the intricacies of the game necessarily. So, but you can do that and you can make that very interesting. I was always disappointed, and God rest his soul too. It seems like everybody I talk about is dead. Bill Walton and I got to be very friendly, and he tried to get ESPN to use me to do a game together and let me do play-by-play and him doing color analyst. That would have been really interesting because I know Bill well enough. And I already told him, I said, well, if you can pull that off, Bill, I'm going to let you know that I'm not going to let you get away with some of the bullshit that you talk about on the He started laughing. And I think we could have done a really great job together. But yeah, but it was fun doing it. But I have a hard time listening to a lot of them because they're talking about a game that they see differently than I see it. And they're talking about stuff that I wouldn't be talking about. And I'm looking, why aren't you talking about this? Why aren't you talking about that? And so it's difficult for me to listen to broadcast of NBA games, depending upon who's doing the announcing.
Well, and I feel like a lot of times they're worried about other people's feelings and not offending folks.
Coaches are the worst about that. No, seriously, the coaches that get on the air to do stuff, they rarely will ever say anything bad about a coach when they're doing the game. And,
right.
And that's not right. If the coach is screwing up, you need to talk about it. Be truthful.
Yeah.
Talk about it. Hey, I can't believe that he called that timeout during that time. I can't believe that's the play. If a guy's doing things that you don't think are right, you have every right as an analyst to talk about it, especially since you were there. You were in his shoes. You were a coach. So you should definitely give your opinion about it. Everybody doesn't have to agree with you. You may not even be right, but you're certainly entitled to your opinion.
Rick, as you brilliantly say often,
you can't handle the truth.
People can't.
Most people can't handle the truth. It's really true. I mean, my biggest problem is my wife said, I've said many times, honey, you're the most honest person I've ever met, but you're brutally honest. You got to get the brutality out of your honesty. And so I try to do that now, but I'm never going to be a shill. I mean, if you're hiring me to do color analyst work, I'm going to talk about the good and the bad. What I did learn, however, to do it is that you want to have accentuate the positive more so than the negative, but you can't ignore the negative. Just can't.
And Rick, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you're absolutely right. It's one of those things where integrity, sadly, is not prevalent in the media scene. People are like you said, the shill thing is very real, and I'm not going to name names, obviously, but it's permeated the whole industry. Where instead of being
worried about losing their job.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
I lost my job because of it. He was too negative. Well, no, I was too informative.
Exactly. And And this leads, first of all, before we get into the Warriors, and obviously I'd love to catch up with you in terms of what's going on in your life, Mr. Triple Crown. Yes, Rick Barry is still a champion. In 2025, you just won the Triple Crown in Pickleball. We're going to talk about all that. It's riveting stuff. But real quick, FanDuel, the official sponsor of this program, and I love the sponsorship for the simple reason, besides the fact that they sponsor us, they help support us, help keep the lights on. All I have to do for the sponsor read is just read lines. Is just go to the sportsbook and tell the audience what the lines are that these brilliant statisticians who form these spreads with the goal of equal betting on both sides so that they can make their profit off the VIG. Christmas Day, the Warriors are playing the Dallas Mavericks. Klay Thompson's coming home. The Mavericks, to me, are one of the hardest teams to get a read on. There is a lot of talent there, but their record indicates a team that's not very good. They're what, 5-6 games below 500, but at the same time, I'm riveted to see Cooper Flagg. Anthony Davis just had a monster game last night. And the line for that game, the bookies think the Warriors are going to take care of business easily. It's -7.5. Wow. Rick, any thoughts on the Warriors and the Mavericks?
Well, yeah, I don't know how these guys come up with their numbers and stuff, but they're pretty darn accurate. But
yes,
and the Warriors, the Warriors are so freaking inconsistent this year. I mean, I know, giving them a 7-point advantage over a team that does have the kind of talent that you're talking about. I mean, they have some exceptionally talented players on that team, and you just don't know where you're going to get with the Warriors. This is what we've talked about a lot, and we'll get into it a little bit more. But
yeah,
I've messed around doing stuff with the, trying to see if you can pick a game and do stuff and see how I would have done. I don't think I would have made very much money, to be perfectly honest. I think I know a little bit about the game, but every time I look and I see, I mean, you start looking at these standings and teams that are beating other teams, you just don't expect it. I mean, that's what I always live by. My motto in basketball is always expect the unexpected.
Yes.
Because anything can freaking happen. I mean, I know that because we lived it firsthand with our championship team. I mean, that was so totally unexpected. So I know what can happen. And to be astute enough to be able to pick the team that's going to win, especially using the points and taking all the factors into consideration, is not an easy thing to do. So it makes it kind of, interesting. And that's why people do it. That's why they call it gambling. It's not, it's gambling. You're definitely gambling. but the thing that they do there, I mean, I've seen some of the stuff that they're offering at times to do it. You bet a certain amount of money, you got a chance to win extra money. And I can see where people can enjoy it. But here's the deal, folks, is that don't get it to the point where you lose money that you need to sustain life on a good level, especially if you're married with a family. Don't jeopardize your family's future by gambling. Take a certain amount. Like I'd love to go to the racetrack if I can get in and go and sit up where you can have lunch and those places and do all of that, and the clubhouse or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, any of them. I mean, it's like paying money to go, and if you love golf, playing someplace, it costs you a fortune to play at some of these golf courses. So it costs you $500 to play Pebble Beach, let's say, whatever. Well, you can go to the racetrack, take $500 with you. And if you go and you bet, you have some fun doing it. If you come back with no money, that's the $500 you would have spent to go play around the golf. I mean, and if you come back with any money, it was a great day. And you have a wonderful time watching these amazing, majestic animals running, which I think I just watched. The horses running are just so beautiful to watch. And, see how the jockeys deal with it. And I kind of learned to be able to look at the race and read the form and come up with a pretty good idea of what horse I want to pick. I've had some success at the racetrack, but I may have had more success betting on horses than I have on NBA games. I've never really bet on an NBA game, certainly when I was playing. But messing around with, look, you say, all right, maybe I would have taken this team, see what have happened. Ooh, wrong. I mean, like right now, the Warriors going 7 points at all. I don't know. And I would not want to go and be making those kinds of suggestions to people because they're going to get mad at me if they lose. I don't know who the hell's going to. I'm just hoping the Warriors win the damn game.
Well, when I ask you for your thoughts, that's included, right? I mean, that's another piece of advice. I tell people regularly, if I don't know which side to bet on, that's what I tell people. Stay away, right? Like, to me, I'm a gambling man, and I'll happily admit that. But like you said, you got to be responsible. I think discipline is the key ethos for doing it responsibly, and that sometimes means staying the F away for example, Rick, you're right, the NBA season right now is in tumult and for a lot of reasons, And I just stopped betting. I haven't placed a bet down in like a month because sometimes you got to read the room. And right now I can't read it. I can't even read it. So I'm staying away at the moment because I can't predict jack shit. And that includes this Warriors Mavericks game. If you absolutely have to bet, what I've told people is I take the Mavericks because you're still getting 7 points. Like the Warriors can win that game by 7 and you'd still win the bet. But in reality, I'd stay away. That's a tough one. I feel you on that. But and the horse the horse track, my philosophy there has always been bet on the jockey, because certain jockeys have such a successful record that you can play some safe bets. And if you see a good jockey with some favorable odds, put money down. That's how I roll. But that's
I don't make any suggestion, because if it doesn't work for somebody, they're going to be mad at you. So
fair enough. That's true. You're absolutely right.
It's not worth making a suggestion. Bet the house.
You're right.
There have been, I'm serious, some games when it was going to take place, whether it's football or whatever, and say, if I was a betting person, I would definitely bet this game. I just have a gut feeling that there's no way this team is going to lose for various reasons, and I kind of feel strongly about that. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily that it's going to come true, but there are a few occasions where, based upon what transpired over the few days before that, how a team was playing, what the other team was going through, that there should be no realistic reason why a team shouldn't beat somebody. And then the biggest thing is how many points do you have to give up?
Right. What I always do, Rick, for gambling exercise is if I see a game and I feel comfortable predicting a line, like if I feel like, just like you said, if your gut's telling you, oh, this game, like certain games, you just have a feeling that it's going to go a certain way. You just know it, right? From your life experience, observation skills. And so if you ever have that feeling and you have a line in your head and then the bookies set a line that's way different than that, that's when I say bet. Because, like, for example, if you really felt good that the Warriors were going to win by 20 points, like a blowout, like what they did against Orlando last night, winning by 23, and then you see that the line is like 3 points, I'd say bet on that. I mean, look, there's no guarantees. Like you said, it is literally gambling, just like the stock market, just like pretty much anything, just like taking a step out of the house, right? It's gambling, but obviously the risk is much higher in this case, and the probabilities are much lower as opposed to stepping out of the house, but still anything could happen. But have some fun with it, play responsibly, listen to that man right next to me, and I think you'll get far in life. I listen to your advice, sir, regularly. And the Golden State Warrior, are you ready? Is it time to get into this?
Yeah, sure, whatever you want to do.
Well, last night was a complete mixed bag of emotions, in the sense that the Warriors win a game by 23, but maybe that's a misrepresentation given they were trailing by 5 before Draymond Green and Steve Kerr get into it on the sideline. Draymond just takes himself out of the equation, maybe the smartest move to do before things get really heated. Did you get a chance to study up on that incident last night?
I saw the thing. I heard the comments by Steve and the comments by Draymond, and so you know that I'm not one to criticize just to criticize and jump on someone's case, because you don't know all the elements and you don't know exactly what transpired and exactly what words may have been said. So it's just speculation on your part. However, I have to say that I think Draymond was wrong by doing what he did. I mean, I just have to say that. You just don't pick up and walk off the court, leave and go to the locker room without being thrown out of the game by the officials or telling you to get the hell off the bench by the coach. I just don't think that's good for the team. Obviously, he has an issue with the way the team is playing, being a 500 basketball team. Maybe in his comment about, 41-41, blah, blah, blah. Who the hell wants to be a 500 team? And he's had so much success with this team, and obviously there are things there that he doesn't like. So what I'm saying is that timing is everything. You want to keep things in-house. After the game, tell coach you want to talk to him, and go talk to Steve and just tell him how you feel and what the problem is, and say, coach, that's the way you have to do it. You have to communicate. This is the biggest problem in the world. This is why we have wars. This is why we have so many divorces. Communication is the key to trying to prevent many problems in the world. You have to talk about things and be willing to listen to what somebody has to say. Don't have your ears covered to somebody's talking, but you hear the sound, but you don't let it register with you.
Can I add one thing real fast, Rick? Sorry to interrupt you, But real quickly, just to add to that, because I think it's very important in this day and age, so many people think communication involves texting. Drop that shit. When you say communication, at least this is just my opinion.
Yeah,
it means
I agree. No, I'm
interpersonal
talking about verbal
Yes.
communication, because the tone of a voice tells you a lot more. I mean, I studied acting and doing stuff. You could say, I love you, and it could evoke a lot of different things depending upon how you say it. But you could say, I love you. That's a little bit. That's a little bit different than I love you. I mean, it's the context, not just the context, but it's the feelings behind it. You get a much better idea of what it is when you're hearing it said. So you really need to take a serious look at that. But I didn't like what Draymond did. I know he's upset, and I'm glad he's upset, and somebody should step up, and the guys need to, if they have to, have their own meeting together, whatever it takes to get themselves back. But it all comes down to what we've talked about on a number of occasions so far this season. It's the players have to take responsibility for themselves. The inconsistency of the players on this team is monumental. Monumental. Just look at how many games where a guy goes and plays and gets 20 points or some big game, and then see what he does the next game. I mean, it's a literal roller coaster ride with some major drops, right? I mean, they get up way high on this thing, and then next thing you know, it's not just a little one back here. No, it's like boom. They go from the penthouse to the outhouse. I mean, this is not good. And that's the problem, and it causes a problem, I'm sure, for Steve and the staff, because who do I start? I mean, who's going to come through tonight? It's like a crap game. It's like throwing the dice. You just know what the hell's going to happen.
And here's some added context. I was watching NBA Today an hour or so ago, and Ramona Shelburne and Mark Spears added some information to what went down in the sense that, so Draymond Green, I don't know if there's a correlation or not, but Steve Kerr has been bringing up turnovers for multiple games now. He's been attributing that as the primary variable for the Warriors not being successful. He thinks it's turnovers. And apparently Draymond Green thought he was being called out and picked on because he committed his first turnover of the game, but that turnover happened right before Kerr called the timeout. And supposedly Kerr was trying to send a message to the team by using Draymond's one turnover as a case study of what not to do. And Dre interpreted that as a personal attack. And I guess that was the catalyst for I agree with what you're saying 100%. You don't get up and just leave. Like there's no defense of that. But here's what I'll say, and Rick, I'd love to get your thoughts. This team is 500 right now. And I'm hearing and with Draymond saying what he said and doing what he did, to me, I'm hearing two messages out of this team in terms of what at least they're saying publicly. You had Steph last night saying he was disappointed that the tone of the interviews were negative because while they're asking these tough questions in the locker room, they're playing music, they just want a game. Draymond's messaging is, what are we doing here celebrating a 500 record? And from my perspective, and who cares what I have to think, but I'll say it real fast and then we'll turn it to you. I side with Dre in the sense that I thought this was a dynasty still pursuing titles. And I don't remember this team in previous years being content with a 500 record. I know they want 2 straight and they're trying to get back on the winning track, but that's Dre's perspective. And that's what he made very clear. What are your thoughts on this mixed messaging? Because Steve Kerr also seems to also side with he always brings up when they win games against mediocre teams. He doesn't bring up the fact that they're beating bad teams and losing to good teams. That's what I keep noticing. And that's the sentiment that Dre is conveying. What are your thoughts on all that?
I would concur with what you're saying, and I would agree with Draymond. You're supposed to win games against teams that aren't as good as you are, and you shouldn't be celebrating and doing it. I mean, it's going about your job the way you need to go about it, to beat the teams that you need to beat, be even more focused to try to find a way to win the games against tougher teams in order to get yourself playing at a more consistent, higher level. And that's the problem with this team, the consistency of this team. You just don't know. I mean, they went out and, won a game the other day that I didn't think there's any way in the world they were going to win with the players that they didn't have playing, but the other guys stepped up. Well, you need to go, if I was one of those players, you got to look and go watch that game again and then think, what did I do mentally to get ready to play this game? How did I prepare myself mentally? Because that's a huge part of success in sports, is your mental approach to the game and being able to stay focused on the job at hand, to be in the right place of the rotations defensively, to be reading your teammates the right way, to be putting forth the effort that you need to play. Because a half a step, if you're not focused, you lose a half a step, and a half a step in basketball is death. It's just total death. I don't need to, I told people many times, I didn't need to get by my guy. I just need a half a step. If I get a guy on my shoulder, I own him. I own him.
Yeah.
And so the lack of focus causes you to become a half a step late a lot of times, and a half a step will destroy you. And so the players need to do a self-evaluation of themselves and figure out what it is, because the coaches you can't teach focus.
Yeah.
Everybody has to individually figure out what they need to do to keep their head in the game on a consistent basis. And hopefully they will do that. And I've had experiences like that with when I was coaching and doing it, and try to talk to my players and explain to them how I don't know what you did. I was like, after a game, we lost the game. I said, guys, I'll take responsibility. I lost this game. I should have called timeouts and did, but I wanted you guys to see what was going on and to go back and now look at this game. I waited too long and it cost us a victory. So I'll take responsibility for that. But you got to take responsibility for why the hell your head wasn't in the game. And so the next game we caught and all this stuff on the board is, look, you guys know all this bullshit we've talked about before. Get your freaking head in the game today. Go out there and be focused and know that play defense the way we want to play defense. You know, execute the offense the way we want to execute it. Play unselfishly, play with passion and heart, and let's go out and have a great game. We went out and killed this team. And so when we went in the locker room after this, I'm really proud of you guys. I said, now, figure out what the hell did you just do prior to this game to get yourself to play at that level for that period of time. I only want 40 minutes of 48. We'll win a ton of games if we could do 40 minutes of 48-minute game and be focused with offense and defense. You guys even did better than that, and we crushed that team. So whatever it is that you did, take it and bottle it. And try to do that every time you put your uniform on.
Yes, sir. And by the way, a split head in our chat saying, love this shirt. That is festive. It's a very bright shirt. It looks like you've got it plugged in. Is that electric?
No, it's not.
That's incredible. No. Yeah. How do you make fabric with that?
I don't know. What they could do today in today's world is unbelievable. Wild.
So. And we got the Hall of Famer, Rick Barry. Yeah, people in the chat are like, is that Rick Barry? Yes. One of the greats. I still have you top 15 all time. You are the most underrated player. I can't think of another player who would surpass you in that category of underrated, because not enough people bring your name up in terms of the all-time greats, Rick.
That's because I'm so freaking old. Most of these people weren't even born.
I don't know. I think, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of recency bias, right? And that's prevalent. People look at recency bias with one game, the last 10 years, whatever it is. There's one Draymond clip, if you don't mind us playing this, sir. And this came, the timing of it was impeccable. The Draymond Green show. He's got his own podcast. Rick, while you were playing, if you were playing today, when technology now exists for you and athletes and anybody to have their own show, would you be hosting a podcast while you were playing?
Probably not, but I would do social media. I would just be all over social media. I mean, the opportunities, because I majored in business and marketing, and social media is marketing at its epitome. Yes. And if you know what you're doing, I really think that if I were playing today, not only would I make crazy amounts of money, but I think I can make more money with social media if I reached the level that I was at when I played back in those days. Because you're going to have tens of millions of followers. And when you have that kind of power, and if you associate yourself with reputable companies that really provide outstanding services or outstanding products, you could help them so much with their marketing and just make a ton of money bringing those services and those products to the attention of fans. And it would only be things I totally and completely believed in. I wouldn't be doing it just for the money. I'd have to totally believe in it. But yeah, I would be all over social media without question. Well, but not a podcast during the course of the season and doing that gets into too many things. And there's too many, like you say, the egos and the personalities of people.
That's focus. You talked about focus. I mean, I don't know how the podcast helps with that. Maybe it does. I don't know. But if you're trying to be focused on the game, I don't know how hosting a podcast helps with that. Maybe it does.
No, you'd be better off. You'd be better off just meeting with your teammates and talking to your teammates about what needs to be done and how you're going to find a way to be successful. That would be the most critical thing. I would not do a podcast if I was playing ball today during the season. After the season, maybe, but not during the season.
Right. When you're just you're off the company dime, you're off the fan emotional investment. You're just having fun in the off season. It's your prerogative what you do at that point. Well, it is Draymond Green's prerogative to host the podcast. I don't think there's any rules against it. And the timing was impeccable though. He leaves the game, comes back in street clothes, talks to the media after the game. Side note, Ramona Shelburne and Mark Spears adding additional context that Mike Dunleavy Jr. Reportedly went into the locker room when Draymond went there to speak with him, make sure everything was okay. And apparently Mike Dunleavy Jr. was happy or satisfied with Draymond's answer. Players were going.
I think he did it for a good reason. He said he didn't want it to become more than it was at the time, and had he stayed, it could have exacerbated itself and gotten into a situation that could have been worse. But the easiest way to have done that is just shut up.
Yeah. Well, the irony of all that is he did it basically because he at the age of 35 going on 36, he has achieved the self-awareness to know when his emotions are gonna run amok. But so it's on one hand, congrats on being aware that this situation would have escalated if you stayed. On the other hand, why do you not have the restraint to just keep your mouth shut in a moment?
I think it was a double-edged sword he was playing with there. I mean, there was no definitive. It was bad what happened, and I just think he made it worse. But in making it worse, knowing himself, he realized that he could have possibly avoided to make it even worse than it was.
And I like what Muhammad Olivi in the chat writes. He avoided another Jordan Poole situation where if he had walked away from that, who knows where we are today, instead of unfortunately not keeping his emotions in check. Well, anyways, he hosted another episode, and he did not shy away from the incident. Let's hear from Draymond Green. It's a short but sweet clip. This was recorded either last night or this morning. It was published, I think, this morning. And here's Draymond Green talking about a lot of things, including just what riles him up. Here is Draymond Green.
The pettiest thing that's ever motivated you in the game. I'm always looking for something just to get me going, and so I'll find the slightest thing to push myself, to wake myself up, to get myself going. You start putting words in guys' mouth like, oh, man, you called me weak. Like, what you talking about, man? Like, all right, bet. Like, you just try to find anything. Over the course of 82 games, there's some nights you just don't have it. Do you just lay down? Not as a competitor. You try to figure it out. So it could be a referee, it could be a player, it could be a coach, it could be my coach, it could be their coach. You figure it out. I'm going to find something.
Interesting that he brought up his own coach as a possible motivator for getting him going in a game. Your thoughts, Rick?
Well, yeah, everybody is entitled to feel the way that they feel, entitled to do the things that they want to do, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. Draymond's, a different breed than most people. And if that's what it takes to get him going, and that's what he needs to do in order to perform at the level that is expected of him, well, then that's what he has to do. But in this case, getting up and leaving the team and going to the locker room, I just don't think was a good thing to do. I really just don't agree with that. He should have just swallowed his pride, bit the inside of his cheek, shut up, didn't say a word, and just eliminate himself and block it out, and don't even hear anymore, and just block it out and go into another world, but don't leave the damn bench in the team. I mean, that's just not a good thing to do. I can't agree with that. And, I really respect Draymond, and I appreciate what he's done for the team over the years, but I think he made I mean, he made a mistake doing that. It's not like the end of the world. It's not like he got into a fight with Steve Kerr or something else. But it just doesn't send a good message. And I think personally, if I were Mike Dunleavy Jr., who I like a lot, good person, known him since he was a little kid, obviously, because I played with his dad, Mike Sr. And I think he needs to go talk to Draymond. And I think Draymond needs to go apologize to the team. I mean, a sincere apology, guys. I should not have left. I did it for whatever reason I have, whatever it is. There's no excuse. I should not have gotten up and left, and I'm sorry. We need to come together. We need to get ourselves up to the point where we're playing, but whatever it is, and then motivate him somehow, some way. But I think it would be a good thing if he were to apologize to his team.
I think that's sage advice. Pretty common sense. I feel like Draymond picked the lesser of two evils, even though there was a third option. Just be quiet.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, the good part about it is the team responded and they went out and got a good victory. Because they were down at the time, they weren't playing well, and so it's sometimes a coach takes a technical foul to try to get the team pumped up or doing something. So this was Draymond's way of doing what the coach was trying to do for a technical foul, and he just did it in a very strange way. He did it. I think you can call it a Draymondism. Maybe we'll call these Draymondisms. You know what I mean?
I will say this. I personally will support the move strongly if it actually does light a fire under the coaching staff, under somebody who maybe needed some sort of nudge to do something
guys,
different.
We need to, we're bullshitting around here, basically, is what he's saying. This is bullshit.
Yes.
We're better than a 500 basketball team.
Yes.
And we need to get our crap together and go out and start playing the way we're capable of playing. And then hopefully pray that they don't have injuries. There were other factors that were there. I mean, he was hurt for a while. Steph was hurt for a little bit. I mean, they had, Jimmy was, so they've had other things that contributed to the problem. But I still think it's, I'm not going to go and disagree with Steve and say turnovers have always been the bugaboo for the Warriors. Come on, let's see. How many times have we talked over the years, even when they were winning championships, about the turnovers killing them, right? Getting 22, 23 turnovers in a game. The decisions that they make with the basketball, they're their own worst enemy. I've said that for a decade or more with the Warriors. So I still think it's the inconsistency this year of a lot of the players on the Warriors team. They're not individually being a consistent player where you're going to go out and give an effort that's relatively the same every day. You're going to score points. You're going to play tough defense. And that's what it comes down to. If you focus on playing really tough, good team defense, that will help generate some opportunities. You may get a steal, go down, get a breakaway, go get an offensive rebound. I mean, you can do some things that can help generate your offense a little bit. And again, I'll say it again because I say it all the time. Defense does not win championships, but you don't win championships if you're not a good defensive team. It's just a rare occasion that a bad defensive team wins a championship in any sport. Okay, now it has more of an impact, I think, in football than it does in basketball.
Agreed
because in football, the defense can score points, can get a touchdown for you. In basketball, generally your defense occasionally it might result in a steal and you get 2 points. It's a big difference of going and getting a 7 points on a touchdown, 6 and the extra point. And so it can block in a field goal, doing stuff, a big deal. I mean, those things are such a big deal in football. And so I think defense is more important in football to be able to win than it is in basketball, but it's still important. I think somebody might be checking on this, but I think only 2 NBA champions in the league ever won a title who were not in the top 10 in defense.
I've heard that so many times. I can't imagine it not being true. I've heard that.
Well, I went and looked up and tried to see. I mean, I don't know how far back, but I mean, and it might even then it was only like 14th or something like that. It wasn't like somebody was 25th in the league in defense and won a championship.
Rick, a lot of people are bringing up, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. First of all, before I get into that, this is just me personally saying this. Rick, you don't have to comment on it, but look, Steve Kerr's decisions this year have frustrated a lot of people. So I think Draymond Green has a lot of fans quietly thanking him for saying something, because there has to have been a message that needed to be sent in some regard, and Draymond did that. Anyways, there was a little gratification from what he did there. But what I wanted to ask you is, a lot of people are bringing up, and I haven't heard this on the ESPN broadcast today too, which is why my eyebrows got raised a little bit hearing it from them, that Draymond Green this year, this is a statistical fact. He has more turnovers than made field goals. He has 75 turnovers, 72 field goals made. And it made me curious, and it made me go through the stats to see if he's ever done that before, and if this is an anomaly, or if this is something that we've actually witnessed. And the year the Warriors won the championship last, in 2022, Draymond Green had more turnovers than field goals made. In 2022, he turned the ball over 139 times, and he made 135 field goals. Not the only time he's done that either, but they won the championship. So what are your thoughts on that stat and its relevance?
I don't think it's necessarily relevant. He doesn't dominate the ball to the point that it's not an absurd amount. It's not like 3 turnovers to 1 basket. I mean, it's not a crazy number. It's just a part of one of the areas of the game that the Warriors are deficient at times, which is getting too many turnovers and making poor decisions with the basketball. So, that's an issue. The thing about what Draymond, I think, is trying to get this team to do is just to be more serious about how they're playing and not be so being accepted, the acceptance that they're showing for the quality of play that they are providing right now, which is not a high quality of play on a consistent basis. And the team isn't doing it, but as a team, it's individually that a lot of the players just are not playing at a consistent high level. I mean, other than, Steph, he has a bad game, but you're going to have 8 to 10 bad games in a whole season, even if you're the best player ever. I mean, nobody has a great game every time they go out there, but you can't be up and down, up and down, up and down. I mean, be up, a little down, keep going a little bit, get it up, maybe you have it down, but not this up, down, or
yeah.
It's just, and I think it's one of the problems, and I don't hope Draymond understands that too, but he might be upset with Steve, what he's doing and who he's playing. I don't know if I can make a decision, if I had to make a decision every day. I'm not there all the time seeing him in practice and stuff, but it's no wonder they have different lineups all the time, because you don't know who's going to give you what on what night. I mean, but the beauty of that is that I think he has to make a change quickly. Okay, so you start out, it's like having a game plan in football. You got to change if it's not working. And a guy starts out and a guy's not playing, well, you got to yank him right away. Not in a minute and a half or 2 minutes like some of these college coaches do, which drives me absolutely bullshit. You can't even get warmed up and the guy's pulling you out of the game. I mean, but give him some time. And if he's not playing and at the level that you need him to play and doing the things that you like for him to be doing, you either take a timeout, a 20-second or whatever it may be, and you talk to him and say, look, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. I need this from you. And give him a chance to go out and get his head into the game instead of just yanking him out, especially after he makes a mistake. That's the worst thing as a coach that you can do, is embarrass a player. That he makes a mistake and you go and you substitute him right away and pull him out of the game. That's embarrassing. I always told my players, look, I'm never going to embarrass you by yanking you out of a game and let everybody in the building know that I'm pissed off at you because you screwed up and didn't do the right thing. I said, but don't you embarrass me. If I take you out of the game, don't you go and make a big deal about the fact that I'm taking you out of the game, because I'm taking you out of the game for a specific reason. That is my job. My job is to determine whether or not you deserve to be playing. And so you have to accept that. And
that's a tremendous power for a head coach. Yeah.
Well, that's the only power that he has.
Yeah.
He has the power of minutes.
Rick, can I broach a conspiracy theory by you? And
sure, why not? They go on all the time in the real world.
All right, here's my conspiracy theory. All right, and this pertains directly to the last week or so of Golden State Warriors basketball on and off the court. We all know about the Joe Lacob email, right?
Yeah.
That a fan published, and who knows what the origins of that email are, the leak and all that. But Joe Lacob's frustrated. At least part of his frustration is Kuminga getting these DNPs. We have no idea what's going on there. And speaking of Draymond's frustration, I don't know if you're aware of this, Rick. Draymond's actually 4th on the team in minutes behind Brandon Pajemski. So who knows if that's playing a part in all this. But here's my conspiracy theory. That Joe Lacob might have given the green light to Draymond Green to spice things up. Your thoughts?
Could be. He might have, call him on the phone. Hey, Draymond, shit, we got to go ahead and inject something. This is bullshit. What's going on here? I can't deal with this. And so who knows? I mean, it could possibly have been, but because of Draymond and who Draymond is and what Draymond does, I don't put it past Draymond to just be Draymond being Draymond.
Right.
I mean, and listen, Joe Lacob's the owner of the team. Joe Lacob could do whatever the hell he wants. I'm sure if he's having a real issue that, he could call up Steve Kerr and say, Steve, what the hell's going on? I mean, I got to know. I'm this guy. I'm paying him all this money doing stuff. We thought he's going to be like, what are you doing? I mean, what's happening? Why are you doing this? I mean, he has the right to do that. He's the owner of the freaking team.
Yeah.
So I think the Kuminga thing is just crazy. I mean,
what are your thoughts on that? Yeah, let's talk about that.
Roller coaster. It's been like a roller coaster ride for him. I mean, up and down, up and down, up and down. Gets the minutes. Seems like he's going to do something. Next thing you know, that he doesn't play. And I don't know. I don't know what kind of communication is going on between the two of them. But it just seems as though they're obviously not on the same page.
I just don't get why
they might not even be in the same book. Forget the page.
Have you ever seen something similar to this in your days playing, observing?
In all the years with the Warriors, I don't think there's ever been this kind of a situation with a player and Steve before. I mean,
what about another player and another coach? Because I can't think of any other similar scenario to this. I really can't.
Well, I think it was when Derek Coleman was with the Nets and stuff. He was causing an issue and a problem and doing stuff there, and I think it was kind of crazy. But I don't think Kuminga's been that type of a disruptive factor. It's just that he's not playing the way Steve wants him to play. And now, it would be nice. And he doesn't have to do it. It's not his responsibility to do it. It would be nice if he came out and said, "Listen, here's the problem with Kuminga. Is John? This is what we need from him, and he's not giving it to us. And until he gets to the point that he can produce this, I can't play him and expect us to be as good a team as we should be. But we don't know that. I don't know what that is. I don't know what Steve wants from him. I really don't, because he has improved. He was shooting the ball better from 3-point range than he ever had earlier in the season. He had some really good 3-point games. He's athletic as could be. He can attack the basket. And as I said to you, when we were doing the show together, a month ago in the beginning of the season, I think he's too passive. I think he has to look to be more aggressive offensively, not to the point that you're going to selfish and you force things, kind of like what happened with Boston, with their 2 stars back there. Those guys, we're talking about Brown and all. They try to make things happen. Okay, you don't do that. You don't try to force things in basketball. You take what the defense gives you, but Jonathan's not even looking to take what the defense has. He doesn't even put any fear in the defensive player to have to worry about it. When he catches the ball, a lot of times when they rotate it, he's not even looking to be an offensive threat. I mean, when I caught the ball, that guy guarding me better worry his ass off that I'm liable to go right by him if he doesn't play some good defense. And if he's too far away, I'm going to shoot the damn ball, but I'm going to look for a way to score. Every time I cut the ball, I'm looking for a way to create an opportunity for me to get a chance to score or create an opportunity for my teammate. Watching Jonathan earlier in the season doing stuff, I didn't see that in him. I really didn't.
I didn't either, Rick, and the impression I got as to why, and this includes communicating with him, his agent, is that Kerr's messaging has really gotten to his head in terms of not taking offensive possessions away from Steph. Now, if Kuminga is playing passive like that with Steph off the floor, that raises even more questions. It's like, why are you not being...
Well, yeah, Steph's not on the floor. You should even be more so. But even then, if I'm playing with Steph Curry, I'm attacking my guy all the time and trying to go to a way that the defender who is guarding Steph better be ready to come and help on me, or I'm getting by my guy, forcing Steph's guy to have to come and get me, knowing full well, if I get this idiot to go ahead and try to come to help me when I'm kicking it to Steph, and create stuff for Steph. By being aggressive, it's not selfishly, it's to try to score. And if the idiots let you not do anything, you go to the basket and go dunk on everybody. Steph's not going to be upset with that. Pretty soon, they're going to get tired of watching that. And so especially if you're attacking on the side where Steph is. So if you get the ball at the top of the key and Steph's on the right wing, you want to attack right, forcing Steph's man to have to make a decision. If I can get, make a move like I'm going left and come back right, force Steph's man to do anything at all to come and help me, I'm going to set Steph up for a lot of shots. And Steph is smart enough to move. If this guy turns his head, he's going to do it. And you can create all kinds of opportunities for Steph. I mean, all kinds of opportunities.
Agreed on all fronts. And I just hope for a resolution at this point, either trade him or commit to him. This is not working. I don't get any of this. Now, one player that's become very polarizing, Rick, and this will no more tough questions after this, I promise.
But these aren't tough questions.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, I don't. Okay, good to hear that. Split Head in the chat brings this up, which is that Brandon Podziemski is 10 minutes away from surpassing Kuminga's minute total, and this is Kuminga's 5th year. This is Podziemski's 3rd year. Steve Kerr clearly loves this kid. He's 3rd on the team in minutes. He's not starting, but he's closing games. He's essentially the team's 6th man. What are your thoughts on Brandon Podziemski? Because I don't see a player who's deserving of that amount of minutes in that big of a role. Maybe I'm wrong. What are your thoughts on Brandon Podziemski and the Golden State Warriors?
Well, I think he falls into the category of inconsistency.
Yeah, big time.
I mean, you got your state. Pull up some box scores, in the last games and stuff, and see what he did. How many minutes did he play? How many points did he score? And see what he's doing on a game by game basis. Is he consistent or is he inconsistent?
It's inconsistent. I'll share this for the screen, and I'll try to articulate all of this as clearly as possible, because chances are, even with the screen being shared, you may not see this clearly. The minutes are fairly consistent. It's never dipping below 20. More times than not, it's averaging 30. In December, he averaged 26.4 minutes per game, 28.1 in November. On the season, he's averaging 27.8 minutes per game. But you look at the points: 16, 11, 18, 12, 2, 21, 10. And it goes across the board. 3 points, 33%.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I mean, you're going to have a few games where you're off, but it's just you don't know whether you're going to get a 20-point game from him or a 2-point game or an 8-point game or a 10-point game. I mean, I'd rather have him get me 15 all the time on a regular basis, and sometimes get a high one, and then every once in a while you throw in one of the clunkers, which can happen. But I mean, but even then, it's just hard for me to believe, if you're playing almost 30 minutes a game, that you can't score 10 points a game.
Well, Rick, I asked Steve Kerr a question a few weeks back, and I'm going to wait until after the trade deadline to follow up. But what I want to ask Steve, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this question that I want to pose to Steve, is what does Jonathan Kuminga have to do to earn the trust and the minutes that Brandon Podziemski gets from you?
Well, no, I just like to know, what does Steve expect from Kuminga? What does he want from Kuminga to be able to feel comfortable playing him, 28 or more minutes a game on a regular basis? What does he need to do? What is he not doing that's causing you to not play him?
Right. It's interesting. Rick, it's like a reality show that just never ends, and it's good for business for a show like this, but it's also dramatic. It's an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, it really is. I feel sorry for Kuminga trying to figure out what the hell's going on. But then again, and most guys don't do it. I know the same situation with some of my boys. At times I said, "Son, did you go in and talk to the coach?" No. I said, "Well, why not?"
Yeah.
I mean, you go in, usually your coach tell you, my door is always open, always open. And if you have an issue, you need to go in. Coach, I'm this is really trying to get to me. What do I need to do? What am I doing wrong? I don't understand what you want from me. What do you want from me? What can I do to earn your confidence and trust?
You're absolutely
that's
right.
the communication. Yeah, it works both ways. It can't be all on Steve Kerr to do something. He needs to communicate with Kuminga, but Kuminga needs to communicate with him.
Agreed.
They need to develop a relationship.
And that's where back in 2023, when Kuminga and or his agent, whoever told Shams Charania that he wasn't happy, and it was a breakdown of communication. Steve Kerr, what we learned after that is Steve Kerr did not make it clear, and who knows if it just simply needed a hey players, my door's always open. I don't know if it was just something that simple that needed to be said, but Kuminga admitted he didn't know there was an open door policy. Nonetheless, you should have taken the initiative to go out and talk to your coach instead of going to the public. So that's the one main critique I have of Kuminga.
That's the thing. Like I told you, when I coached, if I had a player that was playing minutes and doing stuff, and for some reason he didn't play in that game, the first person when that game was over was who I would go up to and say, Cyrus, I know I didn't play you. You've been playing. You've been doing a great job. I'm not upset with you. It just was a situation where the way things were going, I just felt that what we were doing was working well for us. And I felt that it would be best to not substitute and bring you into the game. It has nothing to do with you. Everything's cool. Now, you can still be PO'd at me, okay, because I didn't play you. Right. But at least you know that you're not going to go home and thinking, well, what the hell did I do? You know, the coach is mad at me. No, I'm not upset with you at all. I said, you know, you've been doing a great job for us and everything this game. Hey, we won the game. That's the most important thing. If we had lost the game, then I would say, obviously, I screwed up. I should have put you in. I said, but the fact that we won the game, my thoughts actually worked well and we won the game, but we didn't need to use you this time. But it's nothing to do with you personally. You have to know that. You could, because people's minds create all of these things. I mean, it's just, it's so critical in a game like this where you only have, you know, a limited number of guys around. Well, I'm used to only having 12 guys. Now they got like 15 or so, whatever it is. And it's hard. It's really hard, but you have to communicate with the players. And I just can't even imagine what some of these other guys might be thinking and not knowing if they're going to play or not. But I still think that because of the fact that they have depth, that there's not a big difference on the Golden State Warriors team between the guy who are, you know, guys that are after their top 3 or 4 guys. I don't think there's a big difference between the players. I mean, it's not a big, I mean, so you can go deep. So the thing is that let the guys have to understand and realize that if somebody's not going well, I'm going to get a chance. Okay. And then it's up to me. And then you need to be ready. And then if you go out and you get the job done and do it, then the coach needs to make sure you get rewarded for doing what it is that needed to be done. And then sometimes you switch the roles. I mean, I was a big believer that something in the first half, if my first starters were sucking and you put the other bench in and the bench does a good job and you go into halftime with the lead, shit, I'd start the guys that finished the first half. And here's what I say. Hey, you starters, you guys. They said, look, you guys played like crap in the first half, okay? You know, this is why we're a team. Our guys came in, they get the job done. I said, so guys, go out, and if you can continue to do what you're doing, you're going to still play. And you guys who were starters, be ready to come in and do what they did if they screw up at the start of this third quarter. Reward the players for the effort they put forth. They're going to appreciate it a lot more. They're going to know they got a chance to do something, and that it's not like you're in a tunnel and you don't see any light.
Right. And the good news is there are other players on this team that are exciting people. Like, I don't know if you've had a chance to watch Will Richard. I love this kid. Played for Canyons alum, University of Florida, won a national title last year, just like your boy did. I don't know if they have a relationship or not. Have you had a chance to watch him? Because he's something special. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, well, I really haven't seen much of him, but I'll take a look at it. But then again, I mean, it's hard because, I mean, he put a big game up, but then again, it's hard to be consistent playing well if you don't get minutes.
Yes, that's been my point exactly. Rick, how is the documentary going? The 50-year anniversary.
It's out there. It's out at some film festival someplace. But I haven't heard anything about whether or not it's going to be shown. I'm a little disappointed, to be perfectly honest, that it hasn't been shown this year because it's 50 years. It's the 50-year anniversary of the championship. It would have been a perfect time for it to come out. So obviously, and we're here, the year is just about over, so nothing's going to be happening with it. So I don't know. I do know that it's done.
Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I'm just
Same.
praying.
Same.
I can't wait to see it. I'm just praying that they give credit to my teammates for what we accomplished as a team, because it was a special team and a special group of guys that did what was necessary and put their egos in the closet and played the game the way it was supposed to be played. And it just made it so gratifying to be a part of something so special and to pull off the greatest upset by far in the NBA, and I think in all of the major sports in the United States. I have nobody's come to me with anything to show me anything and say, well, what about this team in this sport? No, show me one. If you can show me one, I'll be willing to say, hey, okay, well, I missed that one. But nobody's come up with anything that made any sense to me that you could tell me it was a bigger upset than what we pulled off. Nothing.
Credit to Nick Friedell of The Athletic, by the way, when you were in town a few weeks back, commemorating the 50-year anniversary of your 75 title team, you and your teammates, immediately after your press conference, Nick Friedell published a story attributing with the headline attributing you, saying that your team was pulled off the greatest upset in championship history of the four major sports, and it got it made some waves. I don't know if you saw that, but
no, I didn't, and I could see if anybody came up with something that actually proves me wrong, and I'll be happy to admit it. But I haven't seen anything.
No pushback. I did not see any pushback, which is all the more reason why that documentary needs to be released. I hope it's not a situation like George Carl's documentary. He made one about the ABA, and it was ready to go for like a year or two before Amazon finally published it. They just kept waiting for the right moment to release it. Hope we don't have a waiting room like that lined up.
Yeah, and they did a nice job with that one as well too. But this one is special. I mean, I even said in our press conference before the game, I said, "Come on, if this was New York and we had pulled this off in New York, there would have been a documentary the next year."
Well, you got some pushback here, Rick. What are your thoughts on this from Bruce Morrow saying the Dallas Mavericks over the Miami Heat in 2011 is a big
no. Were the Dallas Mavericks picked to be a team that wasn't even going to be a playoff team? No. Forget it. End the story.
No, I love it. And that's the same Dallas team that just a few years prior was a number 1 seed that the Warriors upset as an 8 seed. Dirk Nowitzki is a megastar. I mean, yeah, it's apples and oranges, borderline. And what about you personally? Tell the audience about your pickleball career, which is still going.
Last year I played singles for the first time in 2024, and I was trying to wanted to see if I can win a triple crown: singles, mixed doubles, men's doubles in the 4 major tournaments that I play in: the U.S. Open, the USA Pickleball Nationals, the U.S. Senior Nationals, and the Huntsman World Senior Games. And so I had 11 of the 12 gold medals. I won all the singles, won all the men's doubles, and came up short on the last one, the U.S. Seniors, in the mixed doubles. And we had beaten the team that beat us to get the gold medal, and that was a terrible disappointment because I wanted a record that can never be broken, right? Only tied.
Right, 12 to 12.
I had 11 to 12.
You only got 11 to 12.
I couldn't do it. I said, well, maybe I'll try again in 2025. But the U.S. Open was such that I moved up in my skill level, and also I had nobody to play. I mean, so I think that I was playing against, I had to go play against people 10 years or more younger. I mean, so it was kind of crazy at a higher skill level. And so there was no chance for me to do it this year. So I kind of focused on hoping to try to get the triple crown that I didn't get at the U.S. Seniors, which took place this month earlier. And I got to play with this lady, Michelle Foster, who's one of the best female players, 70 years or older, that I've ever played with or against. And it took me 9 years to finally get her to play with me. And we dominated and won the mixed doubles, and I won the singles, and I won the men's doubles with another partner, because my other partner was multiple championships with couldn't come out to. He didn't want to fly all the way out just to play in one event. So I found another male partner, and that worked out well. So that was fun. I was finally able to accomplish the one triple crown that I didn't get. So that was cool. Beautiful. And I really honestly don't know if I'm going to play anymore doing it, because won all the ones I have to win.
Yeah.
And it just gets to be a nightmare, especially if you get bad weather and you don't have indoor facilities. Like even this one, we had indoor facilities up at Pictona, which is near northwestern part of the state of Florida, near Daytona Beach. And so
Beautiful.
Well, they had to cut back in the number of games because you had to play everything indoors because of the rain. And so we didn't get finished until I was there for 12 hours to have to play, and didn't even get to play as many games, but we got it in. And one night they went all the way to 3:00 in the morning to try to get some of it in because of the bad weather. And so that kind of stuff gets annoying. And then it's not even fun. It becomes an ordeal. So we'll see.
I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with leaving the game at the top. So congratulations. But how are you going to fill your time?
What I am doing is that if people want to go and look and go to Daily, DAILEY-travels.com, daily-travels.com. And I'm hosting a pickleball cruise April 10th to the 15th out of Los Angeles to Cabo San Lucas and on the Royal Caribbean ship, Quantum of the Seas. And they actually have indoor pickleball. So we'll be playing as we're cruising and then playing a bunch of stuff down at the Cabo San Lucas pickleball facility and then cruising and playing more pickleball on the way back. So if people go there, there's an opportunity. There's only 16 spots available. So if people are interested in wanting to go there, they can have an opportunity to see. Well, there you see, you're playing the video of what it is.
Yeah.
And there's an interview for me inviting the people to come. It's an amazing ship. And it's going to be a really fun trip. So if anybody's into pickleball and you want to go on a cool trip, there's an opportunity to do that. So it's, again, DAILEY-travels.com.
And I'm creating a QR code as we speak for this. Here we go. So there's the QR code right there. Folks, if you're interested in joining this pickleball cruise with the Hall of Famer Rick Barry, this looks phenomenal. What goes on a cruise like this besides pickleball?
Well, there's so much to go on that ship. I mean, they got all these freaking slides and all kinds of stuff and great food and entertainment. And like it's just a monster.
Oh, it's a Royal Caribbean cruise. Okay, so you're partnered with gotcha. So it's okay. Oh my God, this is luxury.
It's Royal Caribbean, and they have an indoor facility to do that. There's just all kinds of cool stuff to do. There's amazing things to do on cruise ships, and so it's not like you won't have anything to do. And we'll be hanging out and eating together, and we're gonna have a great time. And then we'll spend a lot of time in Cabo San Lucas at the Cabo San Lucas Pickleball Club, and have some games and competitions and lessons and teaching and all kinds of good stuff going on. So there'll be plenty of pickleball and plenty of other fun stuff to do. Yeah.
And look for you husbands and wives out there still trying to figure out the perfect gift. You have time. Look at that. This is incredible.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine just called me from Colorado. In fact, he said he hasn't done something with one of his daughters who's like 30 years old, and so he's saying, well, hell, maybe I'll take her and go on this cruise because we play pickleball together. He's a really good pickleball player as well, and he said, boy, that looks like it could be fun. I said, well, yeah, just
hell yeah,
get on the trip. Come on, get some other people and go.
Hell yeah, it does. And send me a pic of that daughter. I'm kidding. Rick, thank you so much. Sorry, I'm single. I'm allowed to make jokes like that. This looks phenomenal. Bravo. Royal Caribbean Pickleball Cruise with Rick Barry. It's April 10th through the 16th, which means the weather's going to be perfect.
Yeah, 10th to the 15th. April 10th to the 15th.
And is one of the perks for you getting this for free? Like you get to do this?
I'll be there hosting it, so I get to go on the trip and have fun.
The perks! The perks of being a Hall of Famer.
But I love cruising. I love cruising. I absolutely love cruising. I'm a big fan of cruising. And so, I'll have an opportunity to do that. So, I hope if somebody wants to come, we'll get to spend a lot of time together and, have a lot of fun with pickleball. And you'll definitely, hopefully, get better. We got some good teachers. And so if you want to improve your game and have some fun, that'll be great. If you want to bring cash and play individually, we can go shoot some baskets too, maybe. So.
And I love Val in the chat saying underhand that BITCH. Absolutely. That looks phenomenal, sir. I hope we can help you drive some sales for that. It's a worthy expenditure. And again, what an incredible gift. We have time. It's Festivus. That means you have 2 days to figure something out. If you're a slacker like me, back in my day when I had to buy gifts for a whole bunch of people. I was that schmuck who waited till the last minute. Procrastination 101. That has Cyrus Saatsaz' name right under it. And so for folks like me, this is the gift if you can afford it, and it's a very reasonable price for what you're getting. My God.
Well, it's not inexpensive, safe, but it's also a really super cabin, with ocean views and the balcony and all the good stuff and Wi-Fi and all the other stuff. And the food is great. I just love cruises. I mean, I can't even wait because I've not been on this ship, and so I can't even wait to see this ship because I love water slides and things like that.
Yes. I love hearing a man your age say that. It tells me that the fun never leaves. Thank you.
Shit, I went on one of the cruises. My wife and I went to one of the islands that the ships have. These islands in the Caribbean, and they have this thing. I forget how high it is. I mean, 150 whatever feet. It's a huge slide. I mean, my wife and I said I went on that thing and everything, and we going so darn fast doing stuff. I actually put a hole in the back of my bathing suit. I got such friction going. So that was fun. I enjoy that. I got to be careful because of all the rods and pins and screws I have me from my bicycle accident.
Right.
I had another bicycle accident. Thank God I didn't really do something nor damage. But that's stupid. I just realized. Wait a second, Rick. You're freaking. At this age, you got to be an idiot to go on a mountain bike thing. I'm not going any mountain bike trails anymore. I'm not doing that. So.
By the way, Frank in the chat's saying the closest a team to accomplish the biggest upset ever, basically the runner-up, would be the Miracle 69 Mets. Is that a fair statement, Rick?
No, but no, because the Mets
runner-up, not the biggest. Like second.
No. I'm saying there isn't anything more than what we did, but the Mets certainly were a big surprise doing what they were able to do. But again, I mean, nobody even gave us a chance to be a playoff team.
Right.
And then when they got there, it wasn't like they went and they swept the series. And they said, this is the biggest mismatch in the history of NBA Finals. It's going to be a sweep. So you tell me where a team was in that situation at the start of the season, gets to the finals, and they're making a joke out of even being there that it's going to be a sweep. Well, the only thing they got right was the sweep part, just the wrong team.
And that Bullets team was damn good. Again, no one expected you guys to even show up, let alone complete the sweep.
I didn't expect us to sweep, but I thought we could win. But I mean, so what the hell? And they were so overconfident it was a joke because of the scheduling. The arena wasn't even available for us in Oakland, so we wound up playing at the Cow Palace, which I love because I love the baskets at the Cow Palace. And so we wound up playing our 2 games at the Cow Palace. But what Washington was so cocky, they had a chance to choose how to do it. They were willing to play the first game at home and then come back and play 2 games at our place. Well, after they lost the first game at home, they just said, well, wait a second. All of a sudden, the dynamic changed. And then when they lost the second game at our place, then it changed even more. And then they lost the third game. So, yeah, it was then they went in panic mode.
Wait, so the story goes that there was a scheduling conflict at the Oakland Arena. Was it a concert?
No, I think it was. I think it was the Ice Capades or something. I always like to say it was the circus, but I don't know. But the bottom line is they scheduled something because they didn't expect. Again,
right?
Nobody expected us to be even in the playoffs, so they certainly, weren't going to keep dates alive for us because we weren't going to be a playoff team, let alone a championship team.
So suddenly you're in the finals. Yeah. They move your home arena to the Cow Palace in Daly City or wherever it is. South San Francisco. I always forget the actual city.
Daly City. It's in Daly City. Yeah.
Daly City. But you're telling me the Bullets had the option of picking which games they could play at home? And they picked 1 and 2 at the Cow Palace?
They picked 1 at their place and then 2 back at our place.
Wait, game 1 was in Washington, 2 and 3 were at the Cow Palace?
Yes.
That's really bizarre. Yeah. Why would you do that? I don't know what the logic is there.
Because they were so overconfident thinking.
Oh my God. That's crazy, Rick. That is crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know that. I always learn something new about your team every time. I love that. Phenomenal shit. And again, hopefully the documentary will come out sooner than later so we can all enjoy that for ourselves. And keep us posted on that, please, Rick. We'll announce that to the audience. Hit the rewind button if you're interested in Rick Barry's cruise. It's for sale now. Again, the borderline perfect gift to give to your partner because You could have some fun playing pickleball. He or she will have some fun on a cruise. You two together will have some fun in one of the most
great ship. It's a great ship and whatever. I think right now they got a pretty substantial discount right now for anybody that wants to go.
And that's the QR code right there again if you're interested. The website is daily, DAILEY dash travels plural.com. Again, DAILEY dash travels.com is the website. That QR code right there works as well too. Sorry to be redundant.
You know what I got to do one time? Maybe next year we could do it. Maybe get the Warriors to do something and put a big thing together and have a big contest and all, to have the winners and have a few winners to go on a fishing trip with Clifford and me. I want to tell you, you will have one. If you went to fishing, I've got some cool places that I go. It would be so unbelievable because everybody that goes on a trip, Clifford and I are kind of like the odd couple, okay? Oscar and Felix, okay? I mean, Clifford's a great cook, but he's a freaking slob. So I only cook over when we go, and I'll clean up and do everything. But boy, can he cook! In fact, I remember Canyon when we were younger and we were coaching together in the minor leagues, and all he says, "Dad, Uncle Clifford could really cook." And so he's a great cook and a great fisherman, and we just have such a good time because we just bust each other's chops all the time, and the guys are laughing their butt off. And the same thing when we go and we'll have dinner with people, we'll go out and go fish, and I mean maybe you get the Warriors to come up and run get some sponsors behind it. We'll run a huge contest, run a huge contest for next season, or even maybe something for the remainder of the season here, and then go somewhere and go on a great fishing trip and have some winners go with us. Now that would be a hell of a trip because that's not inexpensive either, but that would be kind of cool. It'd be a great gift for somebody to do. They can have a sponsor can have some fun with that. Then even the sponsors can get some of their customers to go, and we could do the Rick Barry, Clifford Ray fishing trip.
Rick and Cliff, absolutely. Barry and Ray, and you two go on some extravagant trips. Whether it's Alaska, does Cliff go with you to the Amazon?
He hasn't. I'm going this January again, but he because of his foot, what happened and getting the infection and losing toes and stuff with the Celtics, who I'll never forgive them for the way they treated him and paid him. They didn't pay him. He hasn't been able to go because he had to be careful about that. But I think he's at a point now where he still would be able to go. And I also have some unbelievable bass fishing to go down in Mexico, or a resort in Mexico where I go fishing, and friends that I know own these resorts. And it's cool. If you're into fishing, these are really cool trips. And a couple of them are, bucket list kind of catches. I hooked at the bass place. I went out because a plane was supposed to come in and bring another 10 or 12 people, and something happened mechanically. They weren't able to make it. So I was the only person at the lodge. And so I went out with the guide because the owner, he and his wife went and took some people they had some prize fighters that they backed who were having a big championship fight. And then they were having a big party for their employees. And so I went out with the head guide, and there was nobody there. In an hour and 20 minutes, I did what I call speed bass fishing. Okay. So you cast out, I don't know if people understand, and you do bait casting. I had bait casting rod, throw that sucker out there, and they crank baiting, and you just really fast run. Okay. So you're running 38 consecutive casts. I hooked the bass, 38. So I hook it. I got to get it. When I got it close, the guide would throw out another rod and throw the line out there, pass it to me. I'd pass him this one. He'd get that bass off, and I start cranking again. 38 consecutive times of fish in an hour and 20 minutes.
Are you exhausted by the end of this?
That one I had to work my butt up. But in an hour and 20 minutes, I hooked 100 bass.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That is crazy.
It was insane. I've had some amazing experiences fishing. When I go to Alaska, go six days of fishing and stuff for 6.5 days. At least 4 of those days, if not more, I would hook at least 100 fish.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you post pictures of all your
I put a lot of pictures up there. But now I don't even care because I've got so many fish. It's only big ones. And so, I'm always looking for the 30-incher now because I've got enough pictures of 20-inch fish. One day I cooked 110 fish. 110 fish, 100 of them, 100. And the guy said, "Hey, I caught a 20-incher." I said, "Well, I was just up in Alaska. I hooked 110 in one day. 100 of them were 20 inches or more."
Dude, that's incredible. incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And and people can see these pictures on your Instagram account at
Yeah,
Rick
I have some.
24.
I've posted a bunch of pictures on my Instagram
Yeah.
stuff for the fishing, but yeah, but not my next one is I got to go. I actually, it's really kind of cool. Rob Anderson, actually, who runs Bucket List Fly Fishing, is up out of Sacramento. He does a lot of stuff up there, and people can go during the summertime and and fish with him there. I think Pyramid Lake is where he does a lot of stuff, but he's heading down to the Amazon to get everything ready because our trip started beginning of January and it's only a short period, only like 6 to 8 weeks of fishing. I mean, it's not like there's anybody else around. There's nobody else there but us, the 8 people fishing. It's unbelievable. It is just incredible opportunity to do something super special. The food is great. I mean, piranha soup. I don't want to catch piranhas because they screw your lines up and stuff. But I had piranha soup, which is actually very tasty. And piranhas aren't really super dangerous to people who go swimming in the rivers anyway. So yeah, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
Piranha soup.
But I got to go for. What I have to go for is I got to go for golden dorado down in either Argentina or one of the other countries in South America. That's on my bucket list. Hopefully I'll get to do that maybe sometime. And
oh my God, bravo! And maybe you could run into Ben Simmons, who at the age of 29 has transitioned from being an NBA player to a pro fisherman. Have you heard about that?
No.
He's competing. He's now a competitive
deep
sport
sea fishing, probably.
More specifically, here there was just a story done about that. A crazy example of when you can just get in your own way mentally, right? I mean, this was one of the most.
This guy should have been something super special. I saw him play in college. My son Canyon played against him when he was at LSU. When Ben was at LSU. And he just needed somebody to work on. He never did, get to the point where he had, confidence in his shot. But what a talent for his size! I mean, I just thought he had a chance to be a great player. He would go up against another guy that I don't think ever got to be as great as he should have been was Sidney Wicks from UCLA. I don't think. I mean, he has such incredible talent. But you talk about two guys. Another guy that played with my son John and Georgia Tech, James Forrest. That was another guy that should have been an amazing pro basketball player and never reached their full potential. But those are three guys that stick in my mind over all the years that I just thought they were amazing talents that never, ever became what they should have become.
And the headline reads that Ben Simmons leads an ownership group of South Florida Sales Angling Club.
Yeah, so he's going out for big sailfish and stuff, and sailfish and all the big stuff, marlins, things of that nature. That's not my kind of fishing. I like it because fly fishing is a skill. It's really an art form, and the better you get at your casting and be able to put the fly where you need to, is you're going to catch and hook more fish, and it's just much more enjoyable. And the other ones, oh my God, sometimes you got to work for hours like trying to land these big old fish. I've caught a sailfish, I've caught some of that stuff, but that's not my kind of fishing. And I did get seasick once, and folks, you don't ever want to get seasick. Trust me, it's horrible.
The worst. And if you're out in the middle of the sea when it happens, that's a nightmare.
Yeah, well, yeah. In this case,
how do you deal with
Alaska? That? You're not that far from land in Alaska, but I got seasick, and it was just horrible.
Yeah.
God, I don't have anything more. Please stop the dry heaves. I can't steal. Just stop. But here's the thing: when I got on land. I went and had a good burger that night. I was fine.
It is crazy. It is. Seasickness is mean. It's just a mean thing. I don't know. Respect to the fishermen and the watermen out there who are never.
I've never gotten seasick on a river or a stream.
It's not fun. Rick, happy Festivus, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Anything we forgot? Do you want to mention your sponsors before we go?
Well, I'm doing stuff still. We got to come up with a new product. This is going to be another aloe-based product with Medicilleaf, MEDICILEAF, Medicilleaf.com. RB24 is the code for that, for any of the products on that site. That's cannabinoid products that I live daily with those products. And then the Ghost Sleeves, of course, my guys, from the Bay Area who started this up, Roy and Darren. Ghost Sleeves, amazing product. We have so many football players, runners, and people using this now. They're coming out with new products that are pretty special with kinesio tape built into them. And that's RB24 is the code there, ghostsleeves.com. There's not been one person that, trust me, I have exposed this to hundreds and hundreds of people You go to get the discount, and they all come back. Rick, it's the best sleeve that I've ever had. They just absolutely love the product. It lasts forever. I never played pickleball without it. I wear it on my good knee as well. So it's a heck of a product. So you can check that out as well. And yeah. So
what about Titan Pickleball? Are we still
well,
them?
that's what I was getting into. And then the last one is TitanPickleball.com. TitanPickleball.com, and it's RBTP. Rick Barry, Titan Pickleball, right? RBTP24, and you get a nice discount on great products. They're $79.99 or $80 paddle. Technologically is probably as good as a lot of other companies' $150, $200 paddles. It's just a super paddle if you're just starting out in the game. It'd be a great paddle to start with. I use the Titanium Platinum one, 16L one, and I've won a number of championships with that. You get a lot of spin, a lot of power. But they're a $79 paddle, and you get a discount with the code. Yeah, give it a shot. If you're going to try and get into it, that'll be a great beginner's paddle for somebody. It'll last you quite a while.
And last but not least, your newest sponsor, a Royal Caribbean Pickleball Cruise that you're going to be hosting. And again, the link for that, we now have a QR code. It's right there. And you see the video footage of what you can participate in. Again, we're 2 days away from Christmas. I can safely say you buy this gift for your partner, they're going to be happy. A Royal Caribbean cruise in April. The weather will be perfect. And look, if you got to play some pickleball, I'm pretty sure your partner is going to find things to do while you're playing pickleball that will not disappoint them either. This sounds amazing. Borderline perfect gift. I respect.
Yeah, well, if you like pickleball, it's really going to be a cool show. I'm really looking forward to it because I've been on cruises that had pickleball. It's not really great courts, but nothing is enclosed. You can't play when you're cruising because with the wind, I mean, it's not possible. So they were smart, Royal Caribbean, to build it. And then if you go to that site, there's also there, and me, I did a little video, inviting people to come along with it. But yeah. So hopefully I'll see somebody who's listening in now. Maybe we'll see you on that cruise in April. We'll see. Meanwhile, again, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you're seeing. All the people. I hope they had great. All my Jewish friends. I hope they had a great Hanukkah, and let's have a healthy, Happy New Year's. And go Warriors! Let's stop being a 500 club.
I'll see you in 2026, sir. Love you. Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.